Welcome to Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp.
And I'm Melissa Delp.
Today we're looking at Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
You heard that right. Between Two Castles is a combination of two games, Between Two Cities and Castles of Mad King Ludwig. You'll have to work with the player on your right and the player on your left to build two castles to the king's liking, but you have to be as balanced as possible because your actual score is the lower of your two castles.
Between Two Castles is for 3 to 7 players. It's designed by Ben Rossett and Matthew O'Malley. It's a drafting tile laying game that plays in about 45 to 60 minutes. It's published by Stonemaier Games with Bezier Games. Let's look at the components. There's 147 regular room tiles, 48 specialty room tiles, 7 throne room tiles, royal attendants, bonus cards, castle tokens, player aids, and scoring sheets. The game also comes with game trays inserts. These hold all the tiles, castle tokens, and bonus cards. The great thing is the slots hold 9 tiles, which just happens to be the number of tiles you need in your hand when you begin the draft.
If you're familiar with Between Two Cities, then you already know a lot of the mechanics of this game, but there are some interesting additions.
The game is played over 2 rounds with 4 drafts in each round.
You start with a castle token and 1 throne room tile between each player. This is the first room of your castle. Throughout the game, you will be drafting 2 tiles at a time from your current hand of tiles. Once everyone has chosen their tiles, you'll simultaneously reveal them and place one of your tiles on the city to your left and one on the city to your right. You'll pass the remaining tiles from your hand to the player on your left during round 1 and to the player on your right during round 2.
The throne room is on the ground floor of your castle. As you place rooms, you'll be extending the ground floor, building higher floors, or expanding the basement. You can't place a tile on a higher floor if there isn't a tile beneath it to support it. The player aid shows you which rooms have to be on the main floors and which can be built downstairs. Corridors and grand foyers are the only rooms that can go upstairs or downstairs.
You'll score your rooms at the end of the game. Each type of room scores differently. Some score based on the position of certain rooms in relation to that room, like food, living, downstairs, and utility rooms. Others score based on which rooms are in your castle, like an outdoor room scoring 1 point for each food room, or sleeping rooms scoring 4 points if you have one of each type of regular room. Corridors score based on the type of wall hanging surrounding them. This one scores for torches. This one scores for paintings.
When you place 3 of the same type of room in your castle, you trigger a bonus. Food rooms let you draw 5 tiles and place one. Utility rooms allow you to draw bonus cards and pick one. Living rooms give you an attendant that scores extra points for certain wall hangings. And several other types of rooms give you a specific specialty room tile. There's also a bonus when you build 5 of the same type of room in your castle.
At the end of the game, you'll use a separate score sheet for each castle. The sheet is laid out well and really helps with keeping track of each room's score. The sheets are double-sided, so you can use each one for 2 games. If you don't like games with a lot of endgame scoring, then this might not be a good fit for you. But personally, I find it exciting when each player is announcing their score. Is it going to be lower? Is it higher? Who's actually going to win?
The game really does blend the game mechanics of Between Two Cities with the room scoring of Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Most of our friends have played and enjoyed both of those games, so this one was really easy for them to pick up.
As far as complexity and game length goes, I think this sits right in the middle. It's a little bit more complex and takes a little longer than Between Two Cities, but maybe not quite as much as Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Now, we played this with 6 players, and it worked really well. Because it has that simultaneous play, even when you're at the higher player counts, it's still moving along pretty quickly.
So there is a game variant for 2 players, but it requires Ludwig as a dummy player. Works okay. I like it with 3 or more players, and it's a great option for that awkward 5 to 7 player count. The cross-section view allows for a fun peek into the rooms. There's a hall of windows, a map room, a cape room, game storage, cat and puppy rooms, snake pit, a broom closet, and even a scythe room. A lot of the iconography matches Castles of Mad King Ludwig, which helps players if they played that game. The special tiles are double-sided, so they're easy to find and put away at the end of the game. And I like that the outdoor rooms have that blue border to remind you that nothing can be placed on top of them. There's a helpful player guide, too.
I really like the decisions you have to make in this game. Not only which tiles do I choose, but which ones do I put in each castle, and even which tiles do I think my partners are going to choose. So there's a bit of a co-op social nature to the game where your neighbors might even try to convince you to change your mind.
Melissa, our castle needs a utility room. Don't waste it on the other castle.
Yeah, basically that. With all the different rooms and the different scoring, there are a ton of ways to get points. So there are a lot of different strategies you can employ during the game. And of course, you do have to adapt based on which tiles you get in the draft.
Potential negatives are that some of the icons, the wall hangings especially, are small and can be tricky to see, and you have to pay attention to make sure that you get your bonuses when you meet the requirements.
The good news is that 2 people are looking at each castle, so between the 2 of you, hopefully you can help each other keep track of everything.
Yeah.
Now, Castles of Mad King Ludwig is one of my top 10 games.
It's actually her number 1.
It is. I just love the puzzle aspect of putting the rooms in the right place to score the most points. And then Between Two Cities is a game that I always recommend when people are looking for something at a higher player count. So when I heard about this game, which combined those 2 games, I was super excited. We actually played this a little over a year ago, but it was in a very rough prototype form, and we really enjoyed it. But now it's even better to see it fully in its full form. So I am so glad that this game has been published and that others get a chance to enjoy it too.
Yeah, so if you enjoy Castles of Mad King Ludwig or Between Two Cities, then definitely check it out. I'd also recommend it if you like tile-laying games, if you like creating the scoring combos, if you like semi-co-op play. Maybe you're looking for something a little heavier than just a light filler game for those higher player counts. Between Two Castles is another great game with top-notch components from Stonemaier Games.
You gotta do it. Just do it.
Just do it. You know what you need to do? You know what you need to do?
Subscribe. You'll have to work with the
Score with the room skewering.
skewer. Who's being skewered?
Skewering.